welcome to part 2 of the Saxon Braid cable. If none of this stuff looks familiar to you, you are watching the wrong video. Or if you want to keep watching, then good luck trying to figure out what is going on. But basically, to recap, what we did is we built up 3 crosses here, 2 here, 1 here, and now we're going to do the opposite. The next step that we're going to be doing is doing this part. So we're going to be making a cross here or an X here and making an X here as well. This next row that we're going to do is going to be gearing up for these 2 X's. And so yeah, let's get started. So we're going to take apart this middle X, and we're not going to have to worry about these 2 guys on the end, but we are going to worry about these 2 guys in the middle. We're going to bring these guys inwards 2 spaces to get ready for the X. So knit your border however you were doing your border, and we're going to knit all the way up to the second, or we're going to knit all the way into this arm right here. So we're going to purl normal, knit these 2 stitches on the end like normal, and purl all the way in. So now I'm at the middle arm here, or the middle cable. We're going to move it in 2 spaces to the left. So we're going to slide off those 2 knit stitches that make the cable. We're going to move it to the front and purl 2 stitches. And that's going to bring that cable back inwards by 2 spaces. So now knit these off. Now we've got 2 purls here, and we're going to split up this middle X. So take your cable needle, slip off the 2 purls here, bring them to the back, because we're going to bring this the right arm of the X over 2 spaces. So knit 2 spaces, or knit 2 stitches, bring back in the cable and purl them off. Now we have to split up the left side, so take those 2 stitches, 2 knit stitches, and we're going to purl them 2 stitches to the left, so bring it forward, and then knit them off. And now we're at that middle cable again on this side, and we're going to make it go inwards. So slip off those 2 purl stitches, and we're going to bring them to the back and knit the 2 stitches. So that's going to bring them in for 2, and we're going to purl these off. So now we've broken up that middle X, and I'm just going to knit and purl the rest of this row like normal. I'm not going to touch this outer cable yet. And then on the flip side, on the back side, you're just going to knit, purl, knit the knits, and purl the purls just like you normally would all the way through. And once you've done that, I will meet you back on this front side again, and we can see what to do next. We're back on the front side now, and now I'm ready to cross these 2 X's at the top in the middle. And now we're also at the same time going to be gearing up to do the 3 X's. So I'm going to start bringing in these outer cables. In part 1, you'll remember that I said it's kind of up to you how far you want the outer cables to go. So I always bring them out 2 spaces. So I'm going to start having to bring them in now. So I'm just going to bring them in 2 spaces. But if you did something else besides that, if you brought them out just like 1 space or something like that, you're not going to need to bring them in quite as far yet, but I'm going to take off that cable and bring it in 2 spaces, just to start bringing it in to get ready for the future. So I'm going to knit those. And then I'm going to be purling 2 stitches like normal. And now I am at the X's. Actually, just kidding, I have one more set of 2 purls to purl. Now we're at the 2 X's. So now we're at the 2 X's, and I'm going to cross these. And it's up to you, again, like I've said before, whether you want the outer ones to go up and over or the inside ones to go up and over. It's up to you which direction you want them to cross over each other, if you want them to go over or under. I am going to have these outer ones go over and inwards, just because if you look at like this long cable here, it's been crossing over a ton of cables, so I think it's time to go under one. And then I just want this one to go inwards too, just to make it look symmetrical. But personal preference, you can do whichever direction you want. Some Saxon braid experts might tell you otherwise, but I'm just going to slip off these 2 stitches and bring them forward so I can cross them over to the left. And I'm going to knit 2 stitches. And bring back up the cable and knit those off. Then I've got these 4 stitches in the middle, and I'm going to keep those normal, so purl those 4 stitches. And now you're at the second X, and I'm going to take off the right arm and I'm going to send it under and to the left. So I'm going to put it to the back and then knit these 2 stitches, which is going to send them over and to the right. And you can knit these stitches. And then you're done crossing the X's. So you can just knit everything else like normal, except there is this last outer cable here, so I'm going to move that over 2 stitches as well, like I did with the other side. So I've got 2 stitches, 2 purls right before the cable. I'm going to slip off those 2 purls and bring them to the back and knit the cable so I move it 2 stitches to the right. Then purl them off and you'll be done with the row. So on the back side, do the back side like normal, and then I'll meet you back on this flip side, and we'll be ready for the next row. Now we're back on the front side, and hey, look, we are almost pretty much done with the pattern. We're gonna gear up now for the 3 crosses at the top. So now this final step, we're gonna bring these guys in, we're gonna break up these 2 crosses in the middle, and then we'll be ready for the 3 more crosses. So just knit your border, however you're planning on doing your border, and then purl all the way up to that outer cable. At the outer cable, we're gonna bring it in 2 spaces to the left, so slip off those 2 stitches and bring them forward. And we're gonna start purling just 2, 1 and 2. Bring it back and knit 2 off the cable. And now we're at these 2 X's, and we're going to start splitting them up now. So we've got 2 pearls here. We're gonna bring it in to the middle, in between the 2 cables that are crossing over each other. So bring it to the back, and we're going to knit 2 stitches, which will bring that X apart, and then purl that off. Then slip off these 2 stitches and bring it to the right, or to the left. So purl 2. Bring it back up and cable that off. Now we're on the last X that we need to break up. So we're gonna move this arm over 2 and this underarm over 2 as well. And then we'll be done with the row. So slip off 2 and knit 2, which will bring it to the right. Then purl off that cable. Then slip off the left arm of the X, and we're going to purl 2 stitches, which will take it 2 stitches to the left. So purl, bring it back up and knit them off the cable. And now we've broken them up. So they're split up. The only thing that we need to worry about now is this outer one. We've got 2 pearls left here, and we're going to slip them off and bring them to the back, which will bring the outer cable inwards 2 spaces. So knit those 2. And then we're going to purl for the rest of the row. So that hard part is over. You're just going to finish up this row and then knit the knits and purl the pearls on the back side like always. And I will see you back on the front side for the last part. All right, we're back on the front, and now this is the final part. Does this look familiar now? It's the same thing that we did for the very first row. Got 3 X's now on the bottom, 3 X's that we need to cross on the top. All we're gonna worry about is crossing these X's. And so hopefully by now you know what to do. So I'm gonna kind of speed through this. So just purl your border or knit your border. I can't even remember what I was doing with my border. But I'm just gonna purl up to that first X. And now you can start crossing the X's. And again, personal preference, which ones you want to go over or under. I am going to have the inside parts go outwards and over this time. But it's up to you, however you want it to look. I'm gonna knit those 2 off. And then knit the 2 off the cable. So we've got them crossed. Now you're going to purl 4 stitches like normal. Now we're at the second X, and at the second X, it's gonna be up to you which direction you want them to cross again. I'm gonna have the left part go over. Actually, yeah, I'm gonna have it go over. So knit those 2 off. Knit 2. And then you've got 4 pearls that you need to purl, so purl those. And now you're on the last X. For the last X, I'm having the inward part go over. I'm gonna bring them forward, knit 2 off behind, then bring up the cable needle, knit 2 off, and then you're gonna purl the rest of this row. And that is basically it. I'm gonna finish this row, I'm gonna knit the back, and then I will show you the end product back on the front side. Back on the front side now, and here is the finished product. This is the Saxon Braid, basically. You've built 3 X's here, 2 here, 1 here, and then you've built it back up again with 2 X's here and 3 X's on the top. If you want to keep going and build this, the braid up further, like if you're making a scarf or something long, you would just repeat this all the way through. So you'd break down these 3 X's and then break it down into 2 and 1, just building like a pyramid and then doing an inverted pyramid. But that's basically it. You're just making a series of X's and you're breaking them apart and then putting them back together again. It's a lot simpler if you think about it in terms of just different crosses and all that, and not getting overwhelmed by all the different cables that you're having to manage. Some variations that you can do with it, like I mentioned a couple times, you can mess with which cables you want to cross over. If you want them to go over or under, you can kind of mess with those and change the way the pattern looks. And also the outer cables, you can make them go out not quite as far, you can make them go in closer. Actually on this Saxon Braid that I did here, the outside cables don't go out as far as the outside cables on this braid. So there's more space here, as you can see. But that's it, that's the Saxon Braid. If you made it this far, congratulations. This is one of the really difficult cable patterns to do, but it looks awesome and hopefully you can use it in some good projects. So thanks for watching.